We're back with our NFL predictions here for week number 10. We've got 14 games this week after the trade deadline has finished here in week number 10. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm recording this video 20 minutes before the trade deadline ends. So if there are any trades from now until 20 minutes in this video, I won't know. Well, I will know them. I'm going to look at Rappaport and Schefter while I'm making the video, but that might affect how we look at some of these games. Obviously, the biggest sellers right now so far the deadline have been the New York Jets, and then I guess the Bengals too, but the Jets have unloaded, obviously. Sauce Gardner, Quinn Williams. Gardner goes to the Indianapolis Colts. Williams goes to the Dallas Cowboys. And another big trade, Rashid Shaheed gets sent from the New Orleans Saints over to the Seattle Seahawks. So folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more weekly NFL predictions here on the channel. The teams on bye week this week are the Cincinnati Bengals, the Dallas Cowboys, Tennessee Titans, and Kansas City Chiefs. Bengals just traded Logan Wilson to Dallas. Dallas and the Bengals defense, my goodness. I mean, you know, Joe Flacco can throw for 470 yards and their team will still lose. It's unbelievable. As for the Cowboys, they laid a massive egg yesterday, losing to the Jacoby Brissett-led Arizona Cardinals. Why the Cowboys are trying to buy right now, I don't know. You have no chance. You might be the second best team in the East, maybe, because look how bad the rest of the division is, but I don't know why you're buying right now. Tennessee is just awful and I have nothing to say about them. Chiefs, I thought they were going to lose the Bills. I don't know. I got nothing on the Chiefs right now. We'll get more into them next week. So that's it for the bye week teams. Before we get into it, folks, make sure to go check out our daily college basketball best bets on the channel, along with our daily NBA best bets. Weekly college football predictions were posted yesterday for week number 11. That's over 4 hours of college football predictions. You're not going to want to miss it. And on Greedo Plays MMA this week, our UFC Fight Night, Brown versus Bonfim, full card predictions from the UFC Apex. Again, that'll be linked in the description down below over on Greedo Plays MMA. On to the first now of our 14 games this week, kicking things off with Thursday Night Football. We've got the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders from Mile High. It's an AFC West matchup that we really don't care about because the Broncos are going to run right through the Raiders. It's that simple. This game will not be competitive. 9.5 points is the line for Denver. The Raiders won't score. And they scored 30 points last week. 29 points. Obviously, that was a big last point of the Jaguars win in overtime. They scored 29 points last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care. If you got shut out in Kansas City, you put up 6 points in Indianapolis against the Colts. What's going to happen to you when you go to Denver and take on the league's best defense? The Broncos won a gritty game last week against the Houston Texans, a game that we expected them to win, and they did absolutely that. I mean, I love that defense coming up big in the fourth quarter, multiple stops to finally get Bo Nix in that offense the ball back. Broncos kick a game-winning field goal to win. The Broncos did nothing impressively scoring-wise or offensively. Courtland Sutton had one catch for 30 yards, yet the Broncos win the football game. They have now gone on a 6-game winning streak. They're 7-2. All the credit to this team. They're playing phenomenal football. I think they probably will in the AFC West. I know the Chargers are really good too, and the Kansas City Chiefs are obviously always in the picture as well. But I said at the beginning of the season, Denver going to the playoffs with plus money. I absolutely loved it at the time. They are now minus 700 to make the postseason this year. I think that was a good bet at the time. I think so. I don't know what the Raiders are going to try here. I'm surprised the Raiders haven't sold yet. And again, there are 20 minutes left of this trade deadline as of time of recording. So maybe they do sell. But at the same time, like, what would they sell right now? They don't really have that many old veteran players except for Max Crosby that teams would actually want. Maybe someone would be interested in a Devin White and Adam Butler. I don't know. But I don't think the Raiders are getting rid of Crosby. Crosby, like, personifies Las Vegas Raiders football, or just Raiders football in general, so I don't think they're going to move on from him. The team as it is, I mean, they showed life against Jacksonville. I'll give them that. I think it's one of the better games Geno Smith played all year long. He threw a bad interception in the third quarter, but Geno played well, and obviously it helps when you get Brock Bowers back, but I don't really think it matters when you're taking on a defense of this level in the Broncos. Now, how will the Broncos actually play in the postseason? I don't know. Again, they had a playoff game last year. They went to Buffalo and they lost. They were competitive early, but obviously Buffalo won at home. I think it'll be a lot different this year, especially if the Broncos get a home game. I think that's going to be absolutely massive, and that's obviously got to be their goal for the rest of the season. And they'll have it out next week. I mean, a huge game next week at home against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they'll be going into that game with kind of the short bye and the long week off essentially. I think they dominate the Raiders here. I think this is a game that Bo Nix is going to really have, a big one against the Raiders defense that is not good. We saw Trevor Lawrence. He had a lot of success against this defense. And, it was a shaky victory for Jacksonville. But you know what? The only stat that matters at the end of the day is that win. And Jacksonville got it in Vegas at the Death Star. I think the Las Vegas Raiders, I don't know what they will do here on the road. I feel like Denver is literally better than them in every facet of the game. Offensively, yes. Defensively, obviously. And the game's in Denver. It's at elevation. You have to go to their environment for this football game. I just don't like it. I think the Broncos are also running the ball a lot better. I know last week wasn't their best offensive week, but, if I can count on the Texans to do anything, it's play solid defense. I think the Broncos easily take the Raiders here. I guess Geno has saved his job for a couple more weeks. There's going to be no Kenny Pickett action, at least for now. So it is what it is. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos to win this football game and cover the 9.5 points at home on Thursday Night Football. I'm sure Al Michaels is ecstatic to call this football game. I'm sure he cannot wait. Give me the Broncos at home minus 9.5. Next up, we go to the London game, or it's not in London. Where is this, in Germany? It's at the Olympic Stadium in Berlin, Germany, as the Indianapolis Colts take on the Atlanta Falcons. So Indianapolis last week, a bad result, let's say. A bad result against the Pittsburgh Steelers. People are saying, Daniel Jones is back to his ghost-seeing ways. It's like New York Giants Daniel Jones again. I wouldn't say that at all. I think he's fine. I think they played a tough game on the road. It's the real big first outdoors road game that they have played. This team will be okay. I think this is still a team that's going to finish 14-3. They play Jacksonville. Oh, is it not Jacksonville? They do play Jacksonville. They play Seattle still. We'll see. They'll definitely win the AFC South. I know the Jags are alive, but I think the Colts are definitely going to win the AFC South. We will see where they finish, obviously, in the standings. I still think there's a very good chance the AFC is going to run through Indianapolis. And if that can happen, all the advantage goes to the Colts, man. They get to play at Lucas Oil. They get to play in that controlled environment. However, there are two other 7-2 teams right now. Somehow, some way, the New England Patriots are 7-2. Shout out Drake May, I guess. And the Broncos are also 7-2 as well. Colts are the tiebreaker over both, but we'll see. The Colts here are in Germany against the Atlanta Falcons. I don't expect this game to be that competitive. I know the Falcons lost a 1-point game to the New England Patriots. And it was a game where, Parker Romo missed a PAT to tie the game in the fourth quarter. This is the same team, by the way, that released young Waco. Anyways, they picked up Zane Gonzalez, the Zane Gonzalez who fixed his hair a million times before the game-winning kick in the wild card round last year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's cool, I guess. But the Falcons are just a mess. Michael Penix, I don't care. He did not have that good of a game last week. Yes, he throws for 3 touchdowns. Drake London bails him out on 2 of those touchdowns. Again, Penix was a nice spiral. He's okay. I don't think he can lead this team because, honestly, this team's always been overrated. They're still overrated. Yes, is Bijan great? Oh, he is. Drake London is a talent. The team lacks literally everywhere else. Don't say, Kyle Pitts. We're in year 5 of the Kyle Pitts thing, and he's still not, that much of an impact player. He had 1 good year. The Atlanta defense, I know they forced a couple turnovers. They forced a fumble on Drake May. They picked Drake May off. Not too concerned. New England's offense looked all right in that game, but again, you go from the Patriots to, who are good, don't get me wrong, to the best offense in the National Football League, or one of the best offenses in the National Football League. Yes, I have my doubts about the Lions now, but we'll get to that later. It's one bad week for the Colts. They'll be fine. They're on the road now in Germany. By the way, let's not forget, yes, Daniel Jones didn't play that well. He still threw 350 yards, and Daniel Jones now leads the National Football League in passing yards. I think that needs to be said. I know they're going to the bye week after this, but the passing leaders right now are Jones, Herbert, Mahomes, Prescott, Drake May. Jonathan Taylor did not have a great day rushing. I think we can expect that to be different this week. Atlanta's defense, I'm not sold on at all. I'm just not. We've seen throughout the course of the season, the Dolphins put up 34 points in this team. And yes, again, that was just a mindset thing, I guess you can say, of sorts. We didn't have Michael Penix. It was Kirk Cousins, and the team wasn't, they weren't all in to win that game, I guess you can say. I don't know. But, if you're giving up 34 points to the Dolphins, who we know, again, aren't very good, and had that game last Thursday against the Baltimore Ravens. And by the way, I like how the Dolphins, little run of, being excited and, we're back, lasted literally 3 days because they had to go play Thursday night against the Baltimore Ravens. But, I don't think the Falcons defense is that good. I think the Colts are going to absolutely demolish them. And I think, again, I keep saying Michael Pittman. Yeah, it's big when Pittman's now putting up 100 plus yard receiving days. Pittman's got 561 on the season. That's around the top 10, top 15 in the National Football League. 9 catches for 115 yards last week. And yes, like 40 of those came at the very end of the game. I don't care. Pittman's getting more involved in the offense, and they are making it very clear, okay, he's our guy. They did trade for Sauce Gardner. I assume Sauce is going to play this week. You don't need that much time to really learn what a team does defensively, so I assume Gardner is going to play. That's big time. That's absolutely huge. It really will help out this Colts defense that was in massive need of another good DB. They get that. I think Sauce is a little overrated, but I think it's a good move for them. So I love it. I think the Colts are only going to be better, and they should dominate the Atlanta Falcons this week in Berlin. -5.5 for Indianapolis here in Germany. On to now the Sunday morning games as we kick things off from Soldier Field. In Chicago, Illinois, we have the Chicago Bears hosting the New York Giants. Chicago coming off of a thrilling victory last week. Unbelievable, beating the Cincinnati Bengals 47-42. I was thinking, oh, this is the biggest Bears loss of all time. You should have had a pick six, at least it appeared on first glance. You should have had a pick six against Joe Flacco at the end of the fourth quarter, actually with like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. No, they don't get the pick six. They go 3 and out. Bengals get the ball back, score, onside kick. They recover, score, Bengals are going to win. Oh, wait, you left 40 seconds for Caleb Williams, and he finds Colston Loveland, who had his best game as a pro, 118 yards for the Michigan rookie, and the Bears win the football game. Yes, they still gave up, though, 470 yards to 40-year-old Joe Flacco. A little bit of a problem. Now, in all fairness to the Bears, they're 5-3, and that game was on the road in Cincinnati, and now they get the New York Football Giants. A team that, I've been saying is just, they're like fun losers now. Like, they're good enough just to lose every single week. They're entertaining. We like what they do. I mean, who doesn't like what Jackson Dart does? Obviously, Scat was, before the injury, was so fun to watch as well. And the Giants last week do what they do best. Play a competitive game, get back into it at the end, but still lose to the San Francisco 49ers and Mac Jones. More on San Francisco in a little bit. But it's a 3-game losing streak for the Giants after picking up a massive victory on Thursday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. They've lost 3 in a row, and in all fairness, they played 3 really tough teams. They go to Denver, lose, again, that they should have won, but to Philadelphia, lost, and then they play the 49ers back at MetLife and lose as well. Back on the road again as they have, oh my goodness, how many road games do they have coming up? In Chicago, home Green Bay, in Detroit, in New England. Wow. In Chicago this week against Caleb and the Bears. Unfortunately for the Giants, I believe their little run has ended. I think Jackson Dart's going to continue to play really good football and continue to play better football. I do still worry about the pieces around him, especially, again, I know, you have Tyron Tracy back there in the backfield. No, Scat was absolutely huge for this team. And, I mean, again, Dart's making the best out of his weapons, but he's throwing the ball to Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Theo Johnson, and Gunnar Olszewski. Yes, Gunnar Olszewski had a touchdown catch in that game against the Giants. Against the Niners. I know Chicago's going to score. I'll say that. Like, I know the Bears offense has been one of the best in football this year. Yeah, they looked horrible in Baltimore, which was confusing. They've played great football ever since. Well, that's one game. But the offense looked great against the Bengals. And you might, I don't know, I think you might need to ask the question, like, is Kyle Monangai really, like, should he be starting over DeAndre Swift? It's one game, and it's against the Bengals. I don't know if Swift puts up 176 yards against that team, like Monangai did. I think it needs to be talked about. He's a 7th-round rookie, but Monangai was very good at Rutgers. And I don't know. I think if, Swift is any bit near not 100%, I think they go to the much younger and I think better back in Monangai. They're basically the same type of player. I mean, well, no, they're not just the same type of player. They're the same, build. They're both 5'8", 205 pounds. I just think Monangai runs harder, and I think Monangai is harder to bring down. I don't know. I mean, I think Monangai should be the starting running back. That's all I'm going to say. I think Swift can still help them out, but I do think Monangai is better, in my opinion. Regardless of that, though, I think the Chicago Bears are going to win this football game against the Giants. Ben Johnson's got this team playing well. They're not that fraudulent of a 5-3, if I'm being honest with you. They go to Minnesota next week. We'll see how that goes. But I think Caleb Williams is playing tremendous football right now. I know he played bad in Baltimore, but I think last week was as good of a game as you can ask out of the guy. 40 seconds left. Oh, we need to go down the field and score. He does exactly that. It obviously helps when you have a running back in Kyle Monangai who's doing what he's doing. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears this week to win and cover the 3.5 points at home against the New York Giants. I just think the Giants lack firepower and the offensive threats to beat this football team. So I'm going to be going here with Chicago at home at Soldier Field. Next up, let's go to This matchup here in Minnesota, as we've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to be going here with the Baltimore Ravens to win on the road and cover 4.5 points. I was very back and forth in this one, I'm not going to lie to you. I got really close here to taking Minnesota at home, especially after the win that they got last week against the Detroit Lions on the road at that. And I get it, if the Bates field goal doesn't get blocked in the fourth quarter, that game probably goes to overtime, and it's probably a little bit different, but it is what it is. We now have Baltimore, Minnesota, as the Vikings are 4-4. J.J. McCarthy wins Tom Brady's LFG Player of the Game, and we found out today Tom Brady cloned his dog. I mean, I guess, you know, cool, sure. Maybe Tom can, like, did Tom clone himself into Drake May? I don't know. I'm joking. Anyways, the Vikings beat the Lions last week in a really good performance out of J.J. McCarthy, right? I mean, McCarthy has been under fire quite a bit, especially the way Carson Wentz has played, and obviously Wentz is now out for the year, and it so aligns that J.J. McCarthy now, I mean, he's fine for the rest of the year. There is no Carson Wentz quarterback controversy no more, and McCarthy played a phenomenal football game, I believe. Or, I mean, I saw it. I think he played a phenomenal game against the Detroit Lions, and now they're taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore, though, 3-5, they still are, they are favored to make the postseason. How they are favored to make the postseason at 1-5. They are still favored to win the AFC North because of Lamar Jackson. And what Lamar does is that he changes the team. He does. He changes the mindset. He changes how they play. And obviously, they did just play the Dolphins, and it's the Dolphins, but look at how Lamar Jackson impacts that game. 18 for 23 passing. Sure, again, not the biggest yardage, only 204 yards, 4 touchdowns. There you go. I mean, that's all you need to see. Lamar takes care of the football. Lamar plays good football. And with just the threat of Lamar Jackson in the backfield or at quarterback, then teams also have to worry, okay, now we got, how do we contain Lamar? How do we stop Lamar throwing the ball over our heads? Again, because Jackson is a historically great passer. And, there's Derrick Henry, too. So Derrick Henry has the best game that he's had in a while against Miami on Thursday night. 19 carries for 120 yards. That's the impact Lamar Jackson has. You can't deny it. Not deny what Jackson does for this football team. They're taking on the Vikings this week. And Minnesota. Again, good win last week. Can they put that together, though? Like, can they put multiple weeks of good football together? If they can, again, the Vikings might be back to where they were last season. Obviously, they didn't lose 4 games until week 18 last year. But I think, again, we've always thought there's going to be some growing pains with J.J. McCarthy. I do believe McCarthy is the truth. I know, again, he has not had a game over 160 yards passing just yet. But McCarthy's done, the little things in these games, scrambling when needed, making the right throws. I think, again, if you actually watch McCarthy play, he's been very good. I just believe it's going to be an uphill climb in this game because, guys, Baltimore, they just get transformed when Jackson is back, and they are a lot healthier now in their defense. They had the bye week that was absolutely massive for them, and they've won 2 in a row coming out of it. And you look at the Ravens' schedule for the rest of the year, I mean, they probably don't lose a game for a while. Minnesota this week, again, huge game. It's going to be close. I think the Ravens will get it. Then they got the Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. Last 2 on the road, by the way, to finish the year. Some tough games, and those Steelers games obviously are probably going to dictate who wins the AFC North, and probably who just gets in the playoffs, because I think the North is only going to have 1 team this season. But it's a different mindset when Lamar Jackson's on the field, and they're just so much better when he plays. I mean, he's one of the best talents in the sport for a reason. 2-time MVP for a reason. I'm going Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens to go to Minnesota and win. You might think the Vikings are on fire after the last victory. They might be, but I'm going to go with Baltimore here on the road. Next up, we go to a matchup in Miami, Florida, between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. I am taking the Buffalo Bills to win and cover. Guys, it's finally happening. Oh my goodness, voice crack. It's finally happening. Maybe. There is talk about Zach Wilson finally starting for the Miami Dolphins. Please. I hate that it's such a bad spot for him, though. Just now, that I wanted to throw it to Tyreek Hill. But it's okay. Okay, they're talking about it now. They are talking about it. I know some Dolphins fans, we need to go Quinn Ewers over Zach Wilson. Ewers is a year younger than Zach Wilson, and he's not as good. So stop with this Quinn Ewers crap. He's actually 2 or 3 years younger. It's okay. You need to start Zach Wilson going forward, okay? And it's being talked about now. So, we're getting there. One more bad week for the Dolphins. It might be Zach Wilson next week. Who are they playing next week? Washington? Overseas? Might actually, I might actually get up in time to watch that football game at 6:30 in the morning if Zach Wilson's getting a start, and then they get the Saints right after and the Jets. Please. Oh, that's actually Wilson's time, bro. Oh my goodness. So again, I don't dislike Tua. I don't at all, but I'm hate watching this week. I don't care. I need the Bills to absolutely put it on this team. I need Tua. The Bills defense I don't love, but it's fine. Dolphins at home, they're 2-7. Tick tick, gotta win. Because I mean, I think Tua played a great game in Atlanta. Don't get me wrong, but you gotta win this league. And the game Tua played at home on Thursday night against the Ravens was not good. There's talk about maybe potentially coaching change. They're going to do anything to try to save this year, or at least make their record look competent by the end of the season. Again, the Dolphins are just not a good football team. They look great against Atlanta, but the thing is, everyone can kind of look good against the Falcons. The Falcons just aren't good in general. The Bills' back-to-back victories after losing to those same exact Atlanta Falcons have come out the bye week and won back-to-back. It's been their ability to run the football, which has just set everything up perfectly for this football team. Again, James Cook in back-to-back weeks against Carolina and the Chiefs, 216 and 114 rushing yards. Obviously, Josh Allen has a big game last week over the Kansas City Chiefs to put him now leading the MVP race. He is number one in the odds now to win the Most Valuable Player award. Mahomes has plummeted. He has fallen in that list. It is Josh Allen 1, Drake May 2, Patrick Mahomes 3, Stafford 4, Darnold 5, Herbert, Mayfield, Hurts, Love, Jackson. He's missed a bunch of games. Again, I agree, Lamar's very valuable, but seriously. Anyways, it's probably going to go to Josh Allen, even though, have you seen Matthew Stafford's stats? I'm just going to say that. Anyways, though, I get he's throwing a puka on Devontae Adams. Regardless of that, though, Josh Allen, he's having a good year, but 1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I honestly believe he's the best quarterback in the sport. I believe he's the best talent in the sport, but really? I don't know. I like the guy. I don't think he's the MVP right now. It's okay. Buffalo's winning football games, so that's really all that matters. They play the Dolphins. Again, they had them early in the year on Thursday Night Football, and they won by 10 points. It was a game that was close until the fourth quarter. Well, no, it was close throughout. The Bills just put on a couple late scores to make the score look good and cover the spread. That's exactly what they're going to do here. No, they're just going to win this game straight up. It's in Miami. I don't really care about the conditions. It's hot. It's not going to bother anybody. Josh Allen's a really good football player. What can I say? And the run game out of James Cook, that might be the difference in them actually making a run this year in the playoffs. But I'm sorry, I can't believe right now in a Bills playoff run. I want to, and I hope the Bills win the Super Bowl. I hope they're in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to get excited yet, because every year I get excited about the Bills. Oh, they lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs. We shall see, but I think they're going to beat up on the Dolphins. What do the Dolphins really offer you that, what do the Dolphins do? Tua throws the ball into triple coverage. Tua takes bad sacks. Tua looks for Jalen Waddle every single play. Waddle up there somewhere. They don't run the ball that well. It's all A-chain again, trying to get to the outside, and he's great at it, but it's just not a good football team. Their defense will probably get obliterated by Buffalo, who's really just figuring it out right now after a big victory last week against the Chiefs. And still the Bills are not in control. Oh, they are in control of their own destiny if they beat the Patriots. But, not a first-place team right now, because that would be Drake May and the New England Patriots. More on them in a little bit. But this might be the Bills' chance, actually, to overcome New England. We'll get to that later. Give me the Bills to go on the road here and beat the Miami Dolphins. I think it's a pretty clear no-brainer. I think they cover 9.5. Next up, we move on to a matchup in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We go to a banger between the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Yay. I'm so excited. The Browns suck. We're talking about hate watching Tua. It's another hate watch this week. Why is Dylan Gabriel a starting quarterback in the National Football League? Why is Kevin Stefanski still have a job? Why? Dylan Gabriel, he's not a pick machine. I get it. Gabriel doesn't throw for over 200 yards in any game he plays. And the Browns offense sucks. And you have a quarterback who is as talented as they come on their bench. But nope, we have to continue to start Dylan Gabriel. Right on, guys. This line's going to move, all right? I made this graphic, on Tuesday, and on Tuesday it was -2.5 for the Jets. I'm sure with their trades, this is going to come down to about even. I'm going to check the odds right now. The Jets are 2.5-point dogs now at home. Okay, so just flip this. I'm still taking the Jets. I don't care. Okay, the Browns are not a good football team. Yes, is their defense good? 100%. Guys, the Jets have now seen one go through the net, though, right? The Jets have actually won a football game. They got it done on the road in Cincinnati, which was a huge win. I mean, they put up 30-plus points. Their defense doesn't really get stops. Well, they only get stops at the end of the game. The Jets win the game 39-38, and now, again, they've seen one go through the net. I get it. They're trades. Quentin Williams gone. Sauce Gardner gone. Well, the defense wasn't really good anyways. So, whatever. I don't really care. And if there's a team that's not going to exploit that, it's the Cleveland Browns. The Browns don't score. Look at their quarterback. And now, again, I'm telling you, I've been seeing this for a while. Gabriel's going to get benched. They're waiting until Deshaun Watson comes back. And they're just going to start Watson. It's what's going to happen. I mean, like, Sanders is never going to start in the National Football League. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. But it's the truth. They're not going to let Shedeur start. Stefanski is adamant on the fact, oh, Dylan Gabriel's our guy. And then they're going to go right back to Deshaun Watson when they're like 2-10, have nothing to lose on the season. We'll see if Quinshon Judkins plays. That's a huge factor in this game. Obviously, Judkins lead back for Cleveland. He's questionable, but it seems like he's going to play. Browns beat the Dolphins because the Dolphins suck, and then they went to New England and got smoked. And Dylan Gabriel threw the ball to absolutely nobody in the flats in his own end zone, causing a safety on an intentional grounding. I think the Jets still win. Guys, there's confidence with this team now. After Justin Fields was, being critiqued by his own owner, Woody Johnson, the Jets go on the road and put up 39 points and win. Do I think the Jets are still horrible? Undoubtedly. Do I think both these teams suck? Yes. I'm still going with the New York Jets. Now, the time, as I'm recording this video, is now past 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is the trade deadline, and Breece Hall still has not been traded. I mean, sure, again, I know there's a window of, trades just need to be reported by a certain amount of time. There's a chance it still happens. If I'm not mistaken, the deadline is at 1, and Breece Hall is not being traded. Yeah, here's the official report. The Jets are not trading Breece Hall, who wanted out Quincy Williams and Jermaine Johnson. Breece Hall is staying as a New York Jet. In terms of fantasy value, I actually don't mind that. He's going to put up big numbers. I mean, you would have liked to see him on a contender, but what if he went to, the Chiefs, and he still had to split some with Kareem Hunt? I don't know. This is going to be weird, though. Maybe he'll sit out like Le'Veon Bell. So, Breece is still around. Garrett Wilson's still around. Wilson was never really, I didn't think was going to be traded. I thought Breece Hall was going to get traded, but yet they're going to keep him hostage in New York. Again, fantasy value-wise, I absolutely love it. I think that's huge. And I know a lot of people wanted him to get traded in fantasy. I think he's going to see great production right there. They were asking him a third-round pick for Breece, and nobody jumped on that? Really? Like, the Steelers didn't want that? That's kind of shocking. I'm not going to lie to you. The Steelers didn't say, okay, I guess the Commanders aren't buying anymore. The Chargers didn't say, we'll give you that? Really? That kind of surprises me. Hell, wow. Like, even like a team like, I don't know, who else is trying to win right now? I mean, the Broncos didn't say, oh, here's a third-round pick. Like, we'll add him to the running back room. Interesting. I think the Jets still win, though. Again, you keep Breece Hall. Justin Fields is now playing with confidence, and they're at home, guys. Yes, the Browns' defense is good. I think the Browns' offense sucks, though, so they're not going to be able to score at the same time. I'm going to go Jets to win. Would I bet on it? Hell no. These two teams are both horrible. They're both eliminated already, basically. They're 2-6 and 1-7 teams. I'm going to go with the 1-7 team to win. Give me the New York Jets to win this game at home. Do not bet on the football game. I repeat, do not bet on it. Next up, let's go to the Tom Brady Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the New England Patriots from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. I will be going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love how I click on both the Patriots and Buccaneers ESPN pages, and the first story for both teams, obviously because Brady played at both Tampa and New England, is ex-NFL star Brady claims his dog is a clone. I don't know what Tom's doing. I love Tom. Okay, you know what? Who cares? Tom Brady used a Texas-based company to help clone his dog, but it's a new dog though, and it has a new name. So, can Tom play football again? That's all I'll say. Can Tom get back on the field? He's 48. He could still win a Super Bowl right now. Bucs Patriots. New England coming off of now 6 straight wins after losing 2 out their first 3 against the Las Vegas Raiders. How? I don't know. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have now won 6 consecutive games over the Panthers, Bills, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, and a 1-point victory over Atlanta ensured John Parker Romo missed a game-tying extra point, but it is what it is. New England, a win is a win, and Drake May should be heavily considered for the most valuable player award right now. What Drake May is doing is pretty damn good. It's insane. 2,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I'm pissed this game's not on Fox because I'd love to listen to Tom Brady do commentary over this game. Instead, I believe he's going to be in San Francisco, I think, for the 49ers and Rams, I believe, or maybe he's there for Vikings, Ravens. No, it's probably the Niners game. I just love to hear him talk about this football game because Brady gets very aggravated at bad quarterback play. There's going to be excellent quarterback play in this football game. New England, though, has not played a really good team. Tampa is a really good team, and the Patriots have to go on the road. For as good as this run is, they have one good victory, and that's the Bills. These other wins are, okay, well, I guess Carolina's turning into a really good win, because they just won last week, and they beat the Packers. But their wins, again, Panthers, okay, cool. Bills, great. Sunday night win, awesome. New Orleans, Tennessee, Browns, Falcons. This is a difficult football game. On the road in Tampa, and sure, they get a short week going into next week. Oh, they get to go to New York. Oh, no, the Jets go to them in New England. I wonder what's going to happen. So they'll get a win right back. They'll get to 8 wins in about 4 days after this loss to Tampa Bay. I believe this is a tough matchup for them because Tampa is a relentless offense. Yes, again, the offense has looked very bad in the last 2 weeks. They win that game in New Orleans, well, because the Saints scored 3 points, but at the same time, yes, because the Saints scored 3 points and the defense completely shut down in New Orleans. The offense has taken a step back over the last 2 weeks. The offense scores 16 points last week, really, against the New Orleans Saints, because obviously they had the Anthony Nelson pick 6. They really couldn't score against the Lions the week prior. I'll tell you this, though. That's because of all the injuries. Eventually, that's going to all add up. There were so many injuries on the offensive line. They're starting to get guys back. Bucky Irving is back. I like Rachaad White, but there is a big difference when Bucky Irving runs the football and Rachaad White runs the football. Bucky's a lot more physical. He's able to get those short yardage plays. That's absolutely massive. He's going to be back this week, and it looks like Chris Godwin is going to be back as well. They're getting guys back on the offensive line. Defense, surprisingly, is playing really good football right now for Tampa Bay. I think this is a tough game for the New England Patriots. I think it is. Again, they're going on the road. Drake May's played great football. He hasn't seen a team like this, and he hasn't seen a Todd Bowles defense yet. It's either you can figure it out or you can't, so we'll see. But again, you know what Todd Bowles does. Heavy pressure. Either you beat us over the top, you beat us through the air, and you get the ball off quick, or we're going to sack you every single play. So we're going to go man up. We're going to see if your receivers are better than our corners. So Pop Douglas, Keyshawn Boutte, obviously Stephon Diggs, Mac Hollins. We'll see if they are better than those corners for Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers win it. They're at home. They will win the Tom Brady Bowl, the second Tom Brady Bowl. The Bucs won the first one in New England when Brady was still on the team. I think they get this one here. I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a big day. I think the bye week was so needed for Tampa. You could tell they were kind of just hobbling into it, and they got a big victory going into the bye week. I know, again, the Saints are horrible, but still, going into New Orleans and winning that game by 20 points was huge. Defense is looking good. I think they win this game with an actual run game now again. Give me Tampa Bay beating the New England Patriots and covering the 2.5 points at home at Raymond James. Going from one NFC South team to 2 NFC South teams, we go to to Charlotte, North Carolina for the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. I am taking plus 5.5 here for the New Orleans Saints we have a trade to report. Oh, wow, I did not see this one at the time. I did not see this on Schefter's Twitter, but it's on ESPN. The New Orleans Saints have traded offensive lineman Trevor Penning to the Los Angeles Chargers. Ooh, that's good for Los Angeles because they just lost Joe Alt. That's surprising. Interesting. That's the only new trade we got. I did not check Twitter, except for the Breece Hall thing. The only report from Schefter that I see is despite getting calls for Jalen Waddle and Bradley Chubb, the Dolphins did not make a deal before the deadline, another deal before the deadline, and opted to hold on to both. Really? Okay. Trevor Penning was the final trade of the deadline. He's going from New Orleans to Los Angeles. Cool. It's a great way to protect Justin Herbert. We'll get to the Chargers later on in the video. However, so the Saints are going to be without Penning. I didn't know that going into my pick here. I'm still going to take them plus 5.5. Guys, I think the Panthers are getting overrated. I think they're getting a little overrated right now. Which I know is crazy because they just lost 40-9 last week, but the Panthers actually have momentum, and let's say it, they have momentum with Bryce Young. They do. They have legitimate for the first time since Young has been drafted and since Young left the University of Alabama. There's momentum for the Panthers with him at the helm. They've won 4 of 5 in general, but they've won 4 in a row with Bryce Young at quarterback. Again, Andy Dalton made the start against the Buffalo Bills. Wins over the Dolphins, Cowboys, Jets, and Packers. Bryce Young now has his team at 5-4, and they are only a game and a half out of first place in the NFC South. Now, will they get to there? No, the Bucs are going to keep winning games, and the Bucs, I guarantee you, will beat up on the Panthers like they have done for the last 6 seasons. But there is some serious momentum building now with the Panthers. They are kind of around a wild card spot right now, even though the NFC is loaded, and I really don't see any of these 7 teams falling out. The teams I'm talking about are the Eagles, Bucs, Seahawks, Packers, Rams, Niners, Lions. I think that's your 7-team field, and I don't really think anyone's getting in. Yeah, the Bears, but those are going to be the 7 teams, believe you me. It's just the order that we'll see. Again, the AFC. The AFC, real quickly. There's 6 teams that I know are going to get in. Colts, Patriots, Broncos. 5 teams. Colts, Patriots, Broncos, Bills, Chargers. Jags, Chiefs is going to be for that final wild card. And then obviously the North is going to be Ravens or Steelers. That's kind of the playoffs are going to unfold. Unless someone surprises me. Like I said earlier, though, I think the Panthers are a little overvalued. Yes, they're winning games. They're not blowing teams out, though. And that's the thing. Again, they'll beat the Saints. But the fact that New Orleans is getting 5.5 points here on the road, I think they cover. Do I think Tyler Shaw is absolutely horrible? I do. I think the Saints are a bad football team. I'll tell you what this game is going to be, and most Panthers games are. They're low scoring. They don't really score that many points. And the Saints defense actually has not played that badly. Yeah, the Rams are okay. The Rams are the best offense, one of the best offenses in football. The Bucs went in New Orleans and scored 16 points. Yeah, games at Bank of America Stadium in Carolina. But the Bears scored 26 against the Saints. The Patriots only scored 25. The Saints, oddly enough, cover quite a bit. And the way the Panthers play, it's very low scoring. They rely on their good defense. They don't really rely on Bryce Young. It's more Rico Dowdle in the run game, which is great, but they just don't score that many points. So I think the cover is pretty easy in this spot. We're probably going to see this line go to 6.5. Yes, I think the penning move is going to move this a whole point. Maybe, we'll see. I think at least money is going to come in on Carolina. And I think the Saints are going to cover. Do I think the Panthers win? Yes. Okay, the Saints are not at the level of Carolina, but the way the Panthers play, it's just find ways to win. We play low-scoring, gritty games. Good for them. Again, they are winning, so I can't hate on them for that, but I got to go here with the New Orleans Saints to cover 5.5 points, probably 6.5 points in Carolina against the Panthers. Next up, we move on to Houston, Texas. The final 10 o'clock game of the window. The Houston Texans take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's just a weekly theme at this point, Fade the Houston Texans. Their defense is really good. I'm taking the Jags. I love the Jags here. I do. Guys, the Jags offense has kind of been unleashed now, and I'm a fan. I am a fan of what the Jaguars are doing right now. I know, again, they almost lost that game because the defense, almost screwed it up for them at the end. But at the same time, they got to stop on the 2-point conversion big time. I'm looking at this game, though, between Jacksonville and Houston. I'm not a big fan of what Houston's got. I know, yes, their defense has actually been very good this season, and going to Houston has been a problem for a lot of teams, and this is another home game for the Texans, who just play football games at NRG Stadium. Jacksonville's beat them before this season. Yes, the game was in Jacksonville. It was low scoring, and that's the type of game we can expect again this week. But Jacksonville added Las Vegas Raiders receiver Jacoby Myers, who was very adamant on the fact he did not want to play in Vegas anymore. Didn't want to go there. This is a guy who can be very talented for them. They get him for a 4th and a 6th round pick. That's massive. Jacksonville's trying to make that playoff push. Well, here you go. When fully healthy, they'll have Brian Thomas, Jacoby Myers, and Travis Hunter. I think it's a really good move. I think it is. By the way, I guess we got to talk about it. Cam Little. Cam Little breaks the longest field goal record in NFL history. Good on him, 68 yards. We knew he was always capable of that, right, in the preseason where he hit the 70-yarder. I thought watching it live, I know this is going to sound like a LeBron moment about, I thought Kobe was going to score 81 points. When watching the kick live, I was so serious. I was like, there's a good chance that Brandon Aubrey's going to tie this a day after, just because that's just how the script works. Aubrey misses the field goal against the Cardinals. It is what it is. I feel like Aubrey's going to break that eventually. But good on Cam Little in Vegas, 68 yards was probably good from 72. So he can probably hit a 70-yarder. Well, no, we've seen it before. Crazy stuff. He breaks Justin Tucker's record. It's actually absurd stuff, man. It's really absurd. It's crazy. Good on him, man. But he's been a very mediocre kicker this season. In terms of accuracy-wise, we know he's got the leg for it. And with that one kick, Cam Little has earned himself a kicking role anywhere in the league for the rest of his career. He will be in the league till he's 40 now, and I'm serious. Yes, he's just gained himself 18 years of NFL pay. Even if his accuracy is going to be bad for the rest of his career, teams are going to bring him in to hit big field goals and long field goals, whether that be in Jacksonville or not. He is actually the least accurate kicker in the National Football League, but doesn't matter anymore. You know everyone knows who Cam Little is now, and he will find jobs the rest of his career. He will always have first guy to hit a 68-yard field goal. Absurd stuff. Good on him. He's only 22 years of age. I think the Jags beat the Texans. Jacoby Myers will probably play this week. Brian Thomas and him now in the receiving core. Obviously, Parker Washington had a big game last week. I like the Jags, man. I think, the commentators said this in their game against the Raiders, and it's probably true. They need to run ETN more. If you give ETN the ball, he's pretty damn good, and you can really grind out a defense by just giving ETN the football 20 times a game. They did that quite a bit against the Raiders. That big drive in overtime was a lot of Travis Etienne. And then win the football game. Trevor Lawrence taking the big QB, not sneak, but the QB dive over the top was absolutely massive to give the Jaguars the victory. Huge 5-3 win. Great on Jacksonville, man. They go to Houston. The Texans' offense still sucks. Their defense is very good. I'll tell you that. Their offense is, very bad. And probably no CJ Stroud this week. I don't think. Stroud, is it official Stroud is a concussion or not? Let's see. Is being evaluated for a concussion a couple days ago. Does Stroud have a concussion or does he not have a concussion? Texans Stroud is better, but remains in protocol. I don't think he's playing. Texans get good news for Stroud so he had a concussion. They're going to play him? Don't play him. Why? Now, they might be better with Davis Mills, but why would you play a guy who's 24 years old and your franchise quarterback in a lost season? Why would you do that? I don't think they're going to play him. Why would they play Stroud this week? It's probably going to be Davis Mills. That makes me feel even better about Jacksonville. And honestly, while you can, take the Jags at plus money. Their defense is okay. I don't know. They were good before the Rams game and last week against the Raiders. Trust me, take the Jags while you can at plus money. I don't think Stroud's the best, but I know he's better than Davis Mills. So I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 100 on the road. Don't look now, but they're a playoff team, I think, this season. Maybe, I don't know. Again, the one team, it's them in Kansas City the rest of the season. They do have the tiebreaker, so there is that. Jacksonville, I don't think they're going to lose, but they can lose this week, and they'll still be in the postseason. For now, I get it, we're only 9 games in, but I think they will win and go to 6-3 and pick up a massive victory. Give me the Jaguars here on the road to beat the Houston Texans. On now to the 1 o'clock games. We go to a 1:05 start at Lumen Field between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going with Arizona plus 6.5. I know I was very confident in the fact that I thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to beat the Cardinals last week. I'm sorry, I was not familiar with the game of Jacoby Brissett. Well, no, I am, but I didn't think they were going to be that good. Guys, until the fourth quarter, the Cowboys could not get Jacoby Brissett off of the field. It was, big play after big play after big play. There was no answer for the Dallas Cowboys for that Arizona Cardinals offense. I think they might need to start Jacoby Brissett going forward. There are spots that Kyler Murray can start next season. Las Vegas, New Orleans, Cleveland, New York Jets, not Giants, Dolphins. There are places for Murray to get another shot in the National Football League. And sometimes, and we've seen this through Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, you just need a change of scenery. Now, none of those guys were 5'9", but it's okay. I like Kyler quite a bit, 5'10". But maybe Murray just needs a brand new start. Is Jacoby Brissett the franchise guy for the Cardinals? No way, no how. But if you trade Kyler Murray and say, you know what, we're just going to go with Jacoby Brissett next season, who's 33 years of age. And if it doesn't pan out, you do what the Browns did with Joe Flacco, and you move on. They can pick a quarterback in the second or the third round. You can get a guy like Garrett Nussmeier in the third round, which, okay. I mean, they could get if Dante Moore goes in the draft, that's not a bad, day 2 pick you can get. Maybe that's what you do. And you say, all right, Kyler, let's get what we can out of him. We can trade him to New Orleans. We can trade him to Miami, to the Jets, and maybe he plays well elsewhere. That's what I would do now with this team. We've seen it. Brissett's been good, and sure, maybe we need another week of Jacoby Brissett. Maybe we just need to see again what he can do now in a road environment. I know he just played in Dallas, but a hostile road environment against a good team. Maybe we need to see that. But we've seen 3 games out of Jacoby Brissett. Competitive in Indianapolis, competitive against the Packers, should have won if they had a better 4th and 1 call. And they go out on Monday night and beat the Cowboys. But Jonathan Gannon has already said Kyler Murray is the starting quarterback when he returns. So you can throw everything I said out the window because they won't do what I just said. Okay. It's starting to come, I don't know. I'm starting to think, like, I don't know if it's a personnel problem anymore. Because I was always like, oh, okay, I think Murray's good, but look what he has around him. Because you'd obviously always point to McBride and Marv, but other than that, I didn't love what this team has. Now look at how Jacoby Brissett has been dealing. I think they cover against Seattle. Guys, I've said this so many times about the Cardinals. They have yet to play a game that has finished. Other than the Cowboys, well, that's their first one. They have not lost a game by more than one score all season long. That game against the Cowboys was their first non-one score game of the year. Way to go, Dallas. A 27-17 victory for the Arizona Cardinals in Dallas was their first non-one score victory of the entire season, or one score game in the entire season. And the line here is asking us to think or to pick if the Cardinals are going to have a one-score game this week. I believe they're going to. I know Seattle's good. I know how good they are. They dominated the Washington Commanders. Washington sucks, and Washington might have the worst defense in football. More on them in a second. There's a lot of bad defenses. Washington's right there. I'll get to that in a second with the Lions. I don't think that's going to go well at all for Washington. But Sam Darnold, perfect in the first half, 330 yards. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 130 yards. He is right now the best receiver in the National Football League, partially because Sam Darnold zones in on him the entire time, but that's okay. They're winning football games. Seattle is 6-2. I think they beat Arizona. I think Arizona covers. Last game between these two teams, Thursday Night Football, Arizona was very competitive, lost a 3-point game in Arizona. I think they cover here. I think they do. That offense is looking good again. Jacoby Brissett getting the ball to Marvin Harrison, to Trey McBride. DeMercado's the lead back now, I guess. Gannon said, we're going to ride the hot hand. It wasn't my guy, Bam Knight. It was Emari DeMercado. Trey Benson returns soon. He might return this week, so that's another big get for this team yet again. I think Arizona covers here. Seattle's a really good offense. Arizona, can I say, offensively is playing really good football the last 3 weeks. Since they've gone to Jacoby, they've been pretty good. I think they're going to keep that momentum. I don't think they beat Seattle, but I think they play a competitive game against Seattle. Give me plus 6.5 for the Arizona Cardinals on the road at Lumen Field. I believe, again, they can play a tight game. Next up, we go to, I believe, America's Game of the Week on Fox. The San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going with the Niners plus 3.5. I've seen them beat the Rams before. Yes, it was in LA, and that was at Levi's South. They're now going to win at Levi's North in Santa Clara, California. It's a good home team. They're a good team at home. They've lost one game all year long at home. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that was when Brock Purdy was starting. I know, again, the Niners are dead set on, okay, Purdy's the guy, and obviously Purdy needs to be the guy because you paid him all that money. I still believe this injury from Brock is just a prolonged, okay, we're waiting until Mac has back-to-back bad games. Welcome back, Brock Purdy. I think that's what that is. I really think so. How do you sit Mac Jones down right now? He's playing great. And, again, I like Brock. Brock's 1-1 this year. Mac Jones is 5-2. How do you bench this guy? Mac, 1,900 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It's what Shanahan always wanted. He originally wanted Mac Jones in that draft back in 2021. Niners pass. He goes to New England. Here Mac Jones is. And what Jones has done this season, he has now put himself in Joe Flacco territory of he's a solid quarterback who, if you need a starter for one season, you can always go to him. And in my opinion, Mac Jones is going to, he's going to go from team to team for the rest of his career, just finding starting jobs. He's going to be a journeyman quarterback, though, who can continue to start. We talked about those job openings next season in the NFL, I believe. Dolphins, Jets, Saints, Raiders. Mac Jones is going to find one of those. He's going to. If I had to guess, probably Miami. I think it's going to be Miami. Miami's going to draft a quarterback. No, but they're just going to start Mendoza day one. It's going to, probably New Orleans. Maybe New Orleans, actually. No, Vegas sounds right. It'll be Vegas. Does Tom like Mac? I don't know. It'll probably be like Vegas next year where he'll start. Steelers, another opening. Ooh, Pittsburgh. He might go to Pittsburgh. He might be the heir apparent to, or the next guy up for Aaron Rodgers. I know the Steelers want Rodgers back. I don't think he's playing another year. That might be it. I was thinking Flacco, but if Flacco feels like a Raiders guy, that's gonna be Mac Jones to Pittsburgh next season. Might not be a bad move. Like Mac, that's the type of guy Tomlin kind of likes, I think. Anyways, Mac should be starting again this week. I'm taking the Niners. If Purdy plays, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm off the Niners if Purdy plays. First week back against this team, Mac's already beaten the Rams. How is Mac Jones not your starting quarterback? I know I'm wearing a Rams jersey. I don't know why I put this on this week. Again, this is a Jared Goff jersey. I'm taking the Niners. I am. I'm taking the Niners to beat the Rams. Rams have won 3 in a row. Their offense looks great. Your last loss was the San Francisco 49ers. It's in SF, or Santa Clara. It's not even close to San Francisco. I'm taking the Niners here. They might get Pearsall back this week. That's huge. Mac Jones has made the most out of the weapons. Christian McCaffrey is back. I mean, the year McCaffrey's having is absurd. The Niners have, sacrificed all of their players and all their health to just keep Christian McCaffrey healthy, and it's worked. They're 6-3 with the injuries. Will it catch up to them eventually? Probably. But until it does, give me the Niners. They're at home. They're going to beat the Rams here. I love what the Rams do, okay? And I still think the Rams probably win the division. I know that was my big pick at the beginning of the year. Rams to win the NFC West. Do I think they still do it? Probably. Because I'll tell you why. The Niners are going to go back to Purdy, and that's going to screw everything up. I don't know if Puka Nacua is going to play this week. That's another big factor. Puka gets injured yet again in the Saints game, and that's just unfortunately, that's the downside of how hard and how physical Puka plays. Puka has a rib injury last week against the New Orleans Saints. He gets pulled from the game. We'll see if he plays this week. He's a very tough dude, obviously, but I don't know. Again, a new father, Puka Nacua. But if Puka doesn't play, that's a big piece missing from this equation for the Rams. I'm going San Francisco at home. Again, if Mac's playing, love it. If Purdy's playing, I don't. Not because I think Purdy's bad, but it's like first week back in 5 weeks and you're taking on this team in a potential division-altering game. I'm going Mac Jones, man. Give me the Mac attack. Mac Jones gets it done at home for the Niners. Next up, we move on to Washington, D.C., or Landover, Maryland, to be specific, as we have the Washington Commanders taking on the Detroit Lions. I know the Lions lost last week, and that was not a good loss. I will not, sugarcoat it for a team that I like quite a bit in Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. I thought it was a horrendous loss to take. They were playing from behind at the end of that football game, really for the most of the football game in the second half. Yes, again, if Jake Bates hits that field goal, if it doesn't get blocked, I think the Lions probably do tie that game, send it overtime, and probably win the football game. And unfortunately, that's just not how things work. So the Lions now return on the road to Washington. I've always thought about this game. We've talked about it. We've mentioned it quite a bit this season. It's a game that I've always thought the Lions were going to win and absolutely dominate. Dan Campbell and this team does not forget about things, and they don't forget what happened last season. They were the number 1 seed. The NFC went through Ford Field. It went through Detroit, Michigan, and the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels went into Detroit and beat this football team in the first round or the second round of the playoffs. Obviously, Detroit's first game. It was insane. The Commanders then went on to lose the Philadelphia Eagles, but last year, to me, it really felt like the Lions' year. And they didn't get embarrassed, but they got shocked at home. They don't forget about those things. And I thought even with Jaden Daniels playing, and oh my goodness, that was a gruesome injury Daniels takes. Fortunately, it looks like it's just a dislocated elbow. No fractures or anything. Looks like he actually, and it's a non-throwing arm, it looks like Daniels probably could be back by the end of the year. But at that point, why would you bring him back for the end of the year? It looks like Daniels will be 100% for 2026, and just let's say it, a lost season for Washington. So no Daniels this week. Lattimore is out for the year, 20 ACL. That sucks, but he wasn't really doing much anyway. McLaurin may be out this week, but again, I keep saying this, Detroit did not forget about last season. They did not. This is a game that they've had circled for a very long time, and the Lions, don't look now, they got to start winning games. You're 5-3. You are a borderline playoff team. You're the 7th seed right now. You got to keep winning, and fortunately enough for the Lions, the Packers loss keeps them right in it in the NFC South, or NFC North, but if they won last week, they would be leading the NFC North right now. Yes, they would. Yeah, they would have 5-2. Damn. Horrible loss last week, man. They should regroup, but okay, next week, Sunday Night Football in Philly. Probably win that game, I think, but I don't know. You got to pick up this win against Washington on the road. The Commanders, so here's the thing about the Commanders. Okay. This is why the Lions will win this game by 20 points. This is a classic Lions blowout, like we've seen this year against the Browns, against the Bengals, against the Bears. That's what I thought Minnesota was going to be, but it wasn't. Coming off the bye week, I guess they were just cold. I don't know. They will decimate this team. You know what the Lions do to bad defenses, and this is one of the worst defenses now in the National Football League. Look what Sam Darnold does in the first half. Perfect passing, 250 yards in the first half. JSN has 100-plus yards in the first half. Jared Goff is literally known for having one of the best passer ratings in the National Football League, being one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the National Football League. What's going to happen now when he's taking on this horrible defense that can't play coverage? Domination is what's going to happen. This game's not competitive, guys. The Lions right out the gates will score, and the Lions, this is a stat too, the Lions don't lose coming off losses. They don't at all. I wonder what's going to happen here against the Washington team that's down, Jaden Daniels. It's going to be Marcus Mariota at quarterback. McLaurin might not be back either for this game. Yikes. The Commanders have now lost 4 straight games after picking up a massive victory on the road in Los Angeles. I thought, season-changing victory in Los Angeles against the Chargers, because look at what the Chargers have done since, more on them in a second. But since that Chargers loss, or win, they lose to the Bears. And something about Bears-Commanders games, that swings your season one way or the other. Last year was the opposite effect. It was inverse, right? Commanders rise, Bears season's basically over from there. This season, look at where the Bears go. They keep winning after a big come-from-behind game in a game that they probably should not have won against the Washington Commanders. And look at where the Commanders are now. 4 straight losses, losing to the Bears, Cowboys, Chiefs, and now the Seattle Seahawks last week, and a horrendous loss. Their defense sucks. Detroit's going to dominate. Lions minus 8.5. This could say minus 18.5. I'd still take it for the Lions. Bounce back week. Dan Campbell doesn't lose off of losses. Give me the Lions. Next up, we go to Sunday Night Football from Los Angeles, California, and at SoFi Stadium. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the road taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. I will be going with the Los Angeles Chargers here. The Trevor Penning move, we just found out about it during this video. That's a big move. Losing Joe Alt sucks. Welcome in Trevor Penning. Is the alt injuries for the year, right? I'm not completely sure. Is it? He's gonna, season-ending injury with a high right ankle sprain. Brutal. That's, and we said too last week, by the way, we knew the Titans were gonna cover. Chargers don't play that well on the road coming off of big victories. It's fine, they win, and that's all that matters again in the National Football League is that you win, but Los Angeles doesn't cover like I thought. Here comes the big game. They are going to rise to the occasion. Before, I think they actually might lose in Jacksonville the week after. They may lose that football game. On the road, cross country, after a big victory that I think they're going to get this week, that might be an L next week. But again, let's focus on this one here in Week 10. Pittsburgh and Los Angeles. The Chargers will win. Justin Herbert is phenomenal. I know he threw a pick 6, basically first drive of the game, first pass of the game against Tennessee. What does he do after? Locks completely in, 250 yards. Big-time game for Herbert and the guys. I was a little concerned about, Herbert playing this game because he's like Mr. Hollywood now, which is cool. Good on Justin. Again, hey, if I could be in that position, I'd 100% sign up too. But, I did worry a little bit about how Herbert was going to play. Dude is everywhere now. They go to Tennessee, they get a victory. Okay, great. Herbert's now a well-known name in the National Football League. Or just, no, in Hollywood and in the national media. Anyways, the Chargers now take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh on the road coming off a massive victory over the Indianapolis Colts. Don't forget, though, what happened the last time the Steelers went on the road. They lost to the Cincinnati Bengals. My point here, the Chargers will score every time they touch the ball. Okay? I know Pittsburgh shut down the Indianapolis Colts. That's an outlier. I think it is. I really think so. They shut down the run, and that team is really dependent on Jonathan Taylor and what Jones can do off of that run. I think in this game, Justin Herbert, again, doesn't really rely on the run game at all because they don't really get him help anywhere. Herbert just slings it the entire game. And that's going to equate to a Chargers win. On Sunday Night Football, Herbert makes the most out of these weapons, man. I mean, he's throwing the ball to Keenan Allen, old-ass Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, Ladd McConkey, Oronde Gadsden. It's insane what he does, but the Chargers are a good football team this season because of Justin Herbert. Defense is playing fairly well too. Again, that game against Tennessee, it's a 7-point game. It's a 1-score game in the end, but look how the Titans score their points. 14 out of those 20 points are special teams points, or defense/special teams points. One was a kick return touchdown, or punt return touchdown. The other one was a pick 6 off of Herbert. The Titans still suck. I think the Chargers win this game, though. They're going to play a much cleaner game at home, not in Nashville, not coming off of the short bye or whatever the hell they call it, coming off Thursday Night Football. Much more focused effort here in Pittsburgh, at home against Pittsburgh. Steelers, yes, coming off a victory. They look good against Indianapolis. Don't get me wrong. Again, Rodgers doing what Rodgers has been doing this year. Short passing game, take your shots when needed. But again, just 25 for 35 day passing, 203 yards. That's just what Rodgers has been doing for the Steelers. So good on him. But I definitely got to go with the Chargers in this spot. I think they're the much better team. I think I love what Justin Herbert does. Defense has been solid all year long as well. Again, Herbert is the guy, and this team would not be where they're at without Justin Herbert. But again, he's playing the football game, isn't he? So I'm going to take the Chargers to win at home and cover the 3 points. Automatic, in my opinion. Home game, Steelers going cross-country, Sunday Night Football spot. Don't think the Chargers lose. Give me Los Angeles at home against the Steelers. Don't look now, the Chiefs are the 3rd best team in their division. And they're probably still going to go to the Super Bowl. So, yep. Final game of the week. Let's go to Green Bay, Wisconsin, to Lambeau Field. The Green Bay Packers take on the Philadelphia Eagles. So, as I was scrolling Twitter, just trying to refresh trades during this video, this tweet popped up, and I feel like I had to read it. I've saved this since I saw this 30 minutes ago because I wanted to talk about it. Romeo Dobbs gave a reaction to Tucker Kraft's season-ending ACL tear, and Romeo Dobbs says, Tucker is now in a better place. He didn't die. What? I mean, is Dobbs okay? I know he's got the Guardian cap. Is he all right? Anyways, so yes, Tucker Kraft is in a better place. He's at home recovering. But I just thought that was hilarious to see. The Packers, though, come into this game as 2.5-point favorites off of their loss last week to the Carolina Panthers at home. Is it time we have that discussion about Jordan Love? No, not really. He just had one bad game. Is Love, like, as elite as some Packers fans would like you to believe? He's not. He's not, like, in that upper tier of quarterbacks. Like, I don't know. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Herbert, Mahomes. Again, I know no one really put Love in that category, but like that second level quarterback, no, he's not. Okay, Love's good. He's not great. Is he a franchise guy? Sure, but is he next in that lineage of Favre, Rodgers, and Love? I don't know if we can say that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just saying this because I'm sure you've seen it. The ball Jordan Love threw cross body in the end zone. On 4th and goal, sure, but should have been a pick six if, who dropped the ball? Was it Dante Jackson for the Panthers, I think it was, who drops the potential pick six in the end zone. It was 4th down, so it was a turnover on downs, but what is what is Love doing? And now you take away his number one receiver. That's Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft, at the time of his injury, 44 targets, 32 catches for 489 yards and 6 touchdowns. You take that away, where's the production going to come now? Obviously, Romeo Dobbs going to have a bigger impact. There's a reason they have Luke Musgrave. There's a reason they picked Musgrave in the second round back in 2023 at Oregon State. He has yet to really have a massive impact on this team. It's his time now. So expect Luke Musgrave to be a very big impact player for Green Bay, the former, again, Oregon State Beaver. I don't think they beat the Eagles, though. I've been very critical on the Eagles all year long. I think they're going to walk into Lambeau and win this football game. The Eagles last year beat the Packers twice. They beat them in the playoffs. They beat them in Brazil. Different environment now, obviously not down in South America, not at the link, but now you are here in Green Bay, Wisconsin in the cold. I don't think that affects the Eagles that much. Their run game finally got going 2 weeks ago against the Giants. Saquon Barkley had his first 100-plus yard day of the year, something that we've been waiting for all year long at Philadelphia. They only had 2 losses all year long, but it was like, oh, when is Barkley going to get going? That exactly happened last week against the New York Football Giants. Here you go. That run game's back. And I think, Hurts is playing with more confidence now. See if A.J. Brown's playing this week. Obviously, there was talks about trading A.J. Brown. That did not happen. I think for the better. Why would you trade that guy? I know he's not happy, but his team's literally 6-2 and going back to the playoffs because they play in a bad division, and they're going to be the first team to win back-to-back division titles in the NFC East in the last 15 seasons. So they're doing unheard of stuff right now. The Eagles are going to win this football game, guys. They're going to be big in the run game. I think Hurts is going to have a pretty big day as well. Tush Push is still alive for now. I know they're calling the fall starts a little bit now. I still think the Eagles win this football game. I'm not sold on Green Bay now. Look at the last 3 games Green Bay's played. They beat the Steelers. That's great. They should have lost to the Cardinals. So the Cardinals, A, didn't go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 50-yard line, or B, got that first down. And they just lost at home to the Carolina Panthers. Now, Philadelphia goes into Green Bay, a team that had beaten Green Bay 2 times last season. I'm going with the Eagles here. I don't think they have an answer for Saquon Barkley. I don't think so. I think Barkley's going to dominate this football game. Last year, Barkley 120 yards in the wild card game against the Packers, 110 yards in the first game against Green Bay. Oh, by the way, A.J. Brown dominated the Packers last season as well. If he plays, that's massive for the Eagles. I'm going Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley to win this game on the road on Monday Night Football against the Packers and the Tucker Kraft-less Packers. I know he's just a tight end. He's one of the most targeted tight ends in all of football, who was Jordan Love's number one weapon, and you take him away, he's now off to a better place. I got to go with Philadelphia to win this football game, plus 2.5. We're going to take the money line, plus 115 for the Eagles on the road on Monday night at Lambeau Field against the Packers. Folks, that does it for our NFL predictions here for week number 10. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back next week and later this week on Saturday for our best bets and our best player props for week number 10 of the NFL season. And again, next Tuesday, like every single week, for our weekly NFL predictions for week number 11. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching. And Mamba, forever.